Today I'm going to show you how to do the Trim Healthy Mama singing Canary, but it's going to be my version. The Trim Healthy Mama singing Canary there's a couple reasons why I don't follow the recipe the way they say to do it. Number one, it is really strong, and too much acidic things upset my stomach. And the second reason is because it's a lot of work. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do it the way the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook says to do it. So I have recreated the recipe using the same basic ingredients but done in a completely different way. What you're going to need for this recipe is a fresh lemon, one fresh lemon, turmeric, mineral salt, this is pink Himalayan, sunflower lecithin, and the stevia of your choice. So the first thing you want to do is roll the lemon on the counter. This breaks up the membranes and you're able to get more juice out of it that way. Then you're going to also need a blender or a Ninja or something like that. I'm going to be using my Ninja today. Then you take one of these zesters, and I pretty much try to get all of the zest off of this lemon. By the way, it has been thoroughly washed, and this is an organic lemon. So I'm just going to go ahead and just take the yellow part off of this lemon. You don't want any of the white part because it is bitter. Now that's one of the things in the original recipe. And the reason why I haven't done it is because it's basically just the opposite. You take the yellow part off and discard it, and you just use the pith, which is the white part, and the juice of the lemon. Or I think you pretty much just throw the whole thing into a blender. And the pith is what's bitter. So that's why I have never really tried that recipe, because I know the white part of any citrus fruit is what is bitter, and you don't want it. I certainly don't want to eat it. I think the reason why they recommend doing that is because apparently the white membrane part has nutrients in it that you need, but I'm drinking this because I like the way it tastes, not so much for the nutrients. So after I've gotten the zest off of it, I don't know, that's probably a tablespoon, I imagine. It's just the zest of one lemon. I'm going to go ahead and roll it again and cut it in half. And then I've got my little juicer here. But before I start juicing it, I'm going to take this over to the trash, and I'm going to try to get as many of the seeds out of this as possible. So I got most of the seeds out of it. Whatever a few seeds fall in there, the Ninja will blend them up. So it's not that big a deal, but you know, I didn't want too many seeds in there just because it might give it a off flavor. But it's really hard to get all of the seeds out, especially using this type of a juicer. If you had one of those other types that you know, that collects the juice and has like a strainer on the top, that might work out better. But you just go ahead and juice this as much as you can. Get as much of the juice out of it as possible, and even the fibers are good. Now I see quite a few seeds in there that I missed, so I'm going to get a spoon once I get done with this and kind of fish some of the bigger ones out. I see a couple of them in there. I'm going to try to get out. This was a seedy lemon. I've had some lemons that didn't have any seeds in it. This one has a lot. I'm just going to take my spoon and get some of these bigger seeds out of there. Okay, there we go. So the next thing you're going to want to do is put 1.5 cups of cold tap water in here. And you can use bottled water if you want to, but we have a nice well water, so that's what we use. And then, so for the sea salt, you just want a dash in there. You don't want a lot, you just want just a dash. It kind of turns this into a little bit of like a Gatorade type drink, because salt has electrolytes in it, but you don't want enough salt in there that it's going to make it taste salty. Then you're going to take your turmeric, and you can put as much as you want to in. But I found for me and for my tastes, a 1/2 teaspoon, just a little bit rounded, is just about perfect. 1 teaspoon, it just leaves too much of a gritty texture to the drink. Then you're going to want to put 1/4 teaspoon of sunflower lecithin. Sunflower lecithin is incredibly good for you. This is actually a 1/2 teaspoon, not a 1/4. 1/2 teaspoon. It's good for your brain, and it makes the drink kind of frothy. And then you're going to want to add your sweetener. Now, I always start off with about 3 scoops. Then I taste it once it's blended up, and depending on the tartness of the lemon, you may need to add a little bit more. So I've got 3, and this is 1/2 tablespoon, but this is a stevia blend. It's not pure stevia, so it depends on what sweetener you use as to how much you put in it. It's to taste, basically. And that's it. And the reason why you want this blender or a NutriBullet or something like that is to just thoroughly mix all of these ingredients together. So I'm going to go ahead, put this on my blender, and give it a whiz. So now I'm going to get my straw, and I'm just going to give this a taste. I'm going to taste it for sweetness. Generally, I have to add a little more sweetener, but I always check it first. Oh yeah, that's really tart. That was a tart lemon. So I'm going to add 2 more scoops. Then you want to fill a quart jar or any kind of a quart-sized container that you have, whether you have a drinking cup or an insulated cup or whatever, because this will make a quart of the Singing Canary drink. But you fill it as full as you can with ice, and then you pour the Singing Canary over it. And then I'm going to add just a little more water to my blender jar to rinse it out to top it off, because you want it to go all the way up to this top rim. So then you just put on your lid, and then you enjoy. And this is a super refreshing twist on lemonade, and it's incredibly good for you. Turmeric is a highly antioxidant spice. It's also anti-inflammatory if you have joint pain. And the sunflower lecithin is incredibly good for your brain, and that's what's added this really nice foam at the top of this drink. And I just think it's really pretty, and it's really tasty, and I've been drinking these just about every other day this summer. I can't drink them every single day because, like I said, too much acidic things upsets my stomach. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will put my recipe in the description box below. Like I said, it is not completely the same as the Trim Healthy Mama recipe. If you want to try their version, you'll have to find, get a hold of the recipe book and give it a try. But I highly recommend that you try this. It's really easy. It's a good way to get fresh lemons into your diet, and all these other wonderful things that are in this drink. Thanks so much for watching, friends, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.